Tonight, a Winnipeg group cautions against war toys and promotes peace through play. News for rural Manitobans who like to have a good time, and the debate over Alberta's strip bars.
Live from the Manitoba Television Network, MTN Pulse News with Jennifer Rattray.
Good evening, everyone. In the news tonight, lawyers for convicted murderer David Milgaard have been invited to Ottawa on Monday to discuss Milgaard's application for a new trial. Lawyer David Asper says the meeting was called by federal justice officials, and he hopes it will lead to an order from Justice Minister Kim Campbell to reopen the case. 39-year-old Milgaard has been in prison since his arrest for the stabbing of a Saskatoon woman in 1969. Recently, a U.S.-based organization investigated the case and suggested Milgaard did not commit the murder. Two BC criminologists have also determined it is likely Milgaard is innocent. Well, with Christmas right around the corner, you're probably wondering what toys to get the kids. In Winnipeg, there's a group that wants you to think twice about what you buy and to stay away from toys they believe promote violence. Chris Armstrong has more.
The cash registers at toy stores across Canada are ringing up business. Christmas is the best time of year for toy stores. And just like last year, toys like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe will sell. Today, a group called Building Peace Through Play held an information session to encourage people to buy toys they think aren't violent. They say most toys today encourage kids to solve problems the wrong way.
Eventually, they always end up using violence. And we want to teach our children that there are other ways of dealing with problems, that there's not always a good guy and a bad guy, that there's things in between, that we can do something else.
Most of our toys are they work out so that you can play where there's no winner. Everyone finishes at the same time, so that it's much easier for cooperation.
But the message might have been lost on a few.
Some of the turtles, they have noisemakers, and then the G.I. Joes, they have noisemakers and also guns.
You like playing with those things, don't you?
Yep.
Parents admit it's an uphill struggle.
Because that's all that seems to be out there, especially with the Ninja Turtles and Batman and everything. It's on everything. It's on your comforters, the clothes, everything. You can't seem to avoid it.
Organizers say the best way to get your kids' mind off these toys is to restrict their TV viewing habits. Most of the toys they don't like are marketed through TV shows. Chris Armstrong, Pulse News.
3 people have received jail sentences for their part in running one of Winnipeg's largest ever Tallwyn and Ritalin rings. Provincial Judge Arnold described the drugs as highly addictive and dangerous before announcing his decision yesterday. Bruce Carroll was sentenced to 4 years, Lillian Harper got 3, and Rhonda Hoorie, a street dealer in the operation, was sentenced to 18 months in prison. The 3, who all pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to traffic, were among 21 people charged after a 1989 police investigation. An 18-year-old man charged in the shooting death of a Pansy area farmer is out on bail. However, a number of conditions were imposed on Krzysztof Godlewski, including checking in with police daily and staying away from alcohol and weapons. Godlewski and a 17-year-old youth were charged with second-degree murder in late September, shortly after the body of Harry Paley was discovered, shot to death at his home near Pansy. Well, financial support for recreation in rural Manitoba could double following an announcement in Brandon today. Culture, Heritage and Citizenship Minister Bonnie Mitchelson unveiled the new Recreation Opportunities Program, designed to improve the quality of life for rural Manitobans and attract further economic investments. The province is putting its money where its mouth is. The government will match any contributions for recreation made by municipalities up to $5,000.
Some communities that have no arts council and no recreation money, those communities will be able to access recreation money, and when they weren't able to in the past. And in fact, they may do all of the programming for that community.
And back in Winnipeg, everything in one Main Street hotel was on the auction block today.
Feel safe. How much money can go on it?
The Manor Hotel at 629 Main Street owes money to a number of creditors. Today's auction will pay off bills owed to Winnipeg Hydro. For many, it was bargain basement prices. The entire contents of the hotel's 175 suites went for $25, but creditors will take just about any amount of money to pay the bills.
Proper documentation to redeem those assets, so that would bring our appraisal down substantially. Other than that, I won't know what type of monies we'll be getting here until the auction's finished and it's been tallied up.
$5 and L 7.5. MF5 is I'm L.
What'd you buy here today?
I bought the liquor dispenser. It's about a $5,000 item. Got it for $25.
And going to national news now, Jean Chrétien says his party will slam the door on the Common Senate Constitutional Committee unless co-chair Dorothy Doby resigns. Speaking in Montreal, Chrétien said Doby is no good and deserves to go. The traveling committee has been grounded for 2 weeks because of disorganization and internal bickering. Chrétien puts the blame on Doby, saying she has made a fool of the committee and its members. Well, Alberta's Solicitor General wants to know what's happening in strip bars across that province. And so, for the past few months, a special committee has been taking a look at what all the commotion is about. A 2-day public discussion wrapped up today in Edmonton. Pat Kroskoff reports.
Nude dancing is demeaning to both men and women. It lowers the morality of the community.
We demand good moral standards for our province.
Strippers are turning a lot of heads in Alberta. For the past 4 months, a government committee has been on a fact-finding mission, a field trip of sorts, visiting strip bars across the province, taking notes on what goes on and what comes off. They also talked with Albertans about how they feel about dancers peeling for the public.
They're just like alcohol and drugs. It's addictive.
Audrey Jensen is leading a crusade to cover up.
It is desensitizing people as to become sex objects with no loving, no feeling, no caring.
She and about 20 other people presented their cases to members of the specially appointed committee. The 11-member panel will collect input from Albertans until the end of the year.
If we have an open mind and we are listening to what the people are saying to us, the message that many of the people are trying to get across is that it does affect us all.
But according to some dancers, the government has no place meddling with their careers.
There's nobody getting hurt. There's no laws being broken. It's a form of adult entertainment, pure and simple.
The committee will make recommendations to Solicitor General Dick Fowler by the end of March. Pat Kroskoff, ITV News.
The Reform Party says it needs a shot of youth and a boost from women. So it's pleading with its male members to get their wives to take out party cards. It's also urging reformers to sign up their grown children to lower the average age of its membership. Reform spokespeople say the party just wants to better reflect the Canadian population. West Coast grain handlers have mixed feelings about a new contract Ottawa has imposed on them. The deal includes a 17.5% wage increase over 3 years and an improved pension package, but the contract also demands that grain handlers work weekends. Federal arbitrator mediator Don Monroe says the only way to stay competitive is to have the operation running 7 days a week. And hundreds of mourners jammed into a church in Kitchener, Ontario this morning to pay their last respects to Captain John Couch. He was the Edmonton-based pilot of the Canadian Forces plane that crashed in the Arctic early this month. Couch has been hailed as a hero by the 13 survivors of the tragedy, although investigators now say pilot error may have caused the crash that killed 5 people. And when Pulse News continues, Magic Johnson begins his new role as a spokesperson for AIDS awareness.
video show from the Palomino Club. We've got some great music for you from the legendary Eddie Arnold, George Jones, Patty Loveless, and Katie Lang. Join us this Saturday evening at 11 right here on MTN. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
You know, I really don't get the big deal about drinking and drugs. It's like a lot of people don't give us any credit. Just because we're young, it doesn't mean we're stupid. I know what I want and what matters to me, and I'm not going to risk blowing it. It doesn't mean I'll never drink. It just means I'll be smart about it.
Hi, Anna. Here's the chart of Mr. Parker.
Excuse me. Dr. Wood, I'm back.
Ruth, what's the problem?
Don't have one. Don't want one. That's why I'm back for my annual flu shot.
A wise decision. Influenza can be serious.
Especially if you're over 65.
Or if you have heart or lung problems.
But after my flu shot last year, I stayed in great shape for the whole winter.
I guess that says it all.
If you think so, Doc, you're the expert.
Smelling good. Oh, okay. I've got one. What do you do during an earthquake? Stay inside.
Get under a table or a desk. Move away from windows.
You're all right. And remember?
We know, Daddy. A family that plans together stays together.
Right. It can happen here. Prepare for tomorrow, today.
And welcome back. 2 days ago, when Irvin Magic Johnson announced he had tested HIV positive,